to live PST. This is our lower intermediate class on Tuesday. And of course, we're going to have 3 classes today. And our plan for today is to do some listening in the first class, which will probably also go into our second class. And then after we finish that in our second class, we're also going to be looking at some discussion questions. But most of those discussion questions are going to be reviewing yesterday's grammar, which was all about the zero and the first conditional. In our third class today, we have kind of an interesting activity. I'm not sure how well it's going to work out, but I hope it's interesting for everybody. It's all about reading palms. All right, so if you don't understand what it is right now, don't worry about it. We'll get into it in the third class. But how are you guys doing today? Please say hello if you're here and tell me how you're doing. What did you do last night? Blah, blah, blah. For me, I'm doing okay today. I guess I already feel a little bit tired, unfortunately. Maybe it's because I had a really big lunch. So after eating a big lunch, usually I feel kind of tired, unfortunately, right? But last night, had a pretty good night after going home from work. Pretty normal, but I went for a walk with my wife and my 2 daughters, and then we came home. We quickly cooked dinner. Dinner was pretty good, and yeah, besides that, it was a decent night. Had a good time, and I went to sleep a little bit early, so really I should feel like I have more energy today, but I don't know, maybe I was doing a lot of work this morning and then I ate lunch, so I feel kind of tired. But yeah, if you guys are here, just write something down or just watch, do whatever you want to do, and that'd be great. What we're going to be doing for our listening today is our topic here. So please take a look at this sheet here. At the very top left, it says, bananas in danger of becoming extinct. Okay, so bananas in danger of becoming extinct. Now, I think we need to talk about the word extinct. Now, if you've been watching our other classes, actually, I think it was last week or the week before that, we were talking about endangered animals, right? And when we talked about endangered animals, we talked about the word extinct. Becoming extinct. It is extinct. They are extinct. So extinct is an adjective. And extinct means completely 100% dead. So if we said, for example, dodo birds are extinct, that means all the dodo birds that lived in the past, they're all dead and there are no dodo birds now, right? Or maybe an easier example is dinosaurs are extinct. There are no more dinosaurs. They're all dead, unfortunately, right? So anyhow, our topic is bananas in danger of becoming extinct. So that means that maybe bananas are in big trouble. They might become extinct and then we wouldn't have any more bananas. So people who love bananas, you might be in big trouble because you might not be able to eat them anymore, and that would be really sad. So our warm-up here, we've got a couple of different things to do in our warm-up. It looks like it's kind of fun. It looks all right, but it's actually a lot of stuff here. But let's take a look at number 1. We have the warm-up question, bananas. Do you like eating bananas? Why or why not? Now, the reason why I'm laughing is because I am the opposite of a banana lover. I am actually a banana hater. I hate bananas. Now, let me tell you why. Okay, now, as you can probably see right now, yeah, I'm not at an ideal body weight. I think since COVID-19 got started, I think I spent too much time at home. I wasn't very active. And then my wife gave birth to our second daughter, and I was eating a lot of unhealthy food, unfortunately, and I put on quite a bit of weight. So I know right now that I need to lose like maybe 5 to 10 kilograms. And that's a lot of weight. So I'm hoping to lose that over the next 4 months by modifying my diet and getting more exercise. Anyhow, about 5 years ago though, I was also a little bit overweight, and I realized it in the spring, and I was like, man, I'm overweight. I need to go on a diet. So I did some research on diets, and I found something called the banana diet. And I thought, okay, this is pretty easy. So for me, I decided to go on a banana diet. And the banana diet said I should just eat bananas for breakfast and for lunch. So I was eating about 3, 4, or maybe 5 bananas a day. Usually 2 bananas for breakfast and maybe 2 for lunch, right? And then for dinner, I'd just eat whatever. I did this for about 2.5 months. And actually, it did work fairly well. I lost about, well, in Canada, usually when we talk about losing weight or gaining weight, we don't use kilograms, we use pounds. But I lost about 13 pounds, or 13 pounds. 13 pounds would be about 6.5 kilograms. So it was effective for me. I lost weight. But after eating, 4 or 5 bananas a day, every day, for breakfast and for lunch, I started to really hate bananas. So I know a lot of people say that you can't really smell a banana, but I can. If somebody has banana in a room over there, I can smell the banana, and I always think, ew, gross, a banana. Because for me, bananas are kind of gross, or gross tasting, and gross means disgusting. Now, I know I am kind of exaggerating. I know a lot of you guys out there are probably like, hey, come on, like, bananas are pretty good, right? But for me, bananas are just kind of gross. I don't like them. I find them kind of gross. But that's me. Anyhow, so what is your favorite fruit? So on the other hand, while I hate bananas, and I'd actually say, now when I answer this question, what is your favorite fruit? Of course, I would say my favorite. Now I'm going to use American spelling. Canadian spelling, you should write F-A-V-O-U-R-I-T-E. But I think American spelling is, in my opinion, actually better. Anyhow, my favorite fruit is something. Now, on the other hand, I just talked about how much I hate bananas. So if you want to say, the opposite of my favorite fruit, or the opposite of my favorite yada yada, you could just say my least favorite, right? If you say my least favorite, it's like the fruit I like the least, or like basically it means this is something I really, really don't like, right? My least favorite fruit is, and I already gave you guys the answer, but my least favorite fruit is bananas, right? Bananas. Anyhow, my favorite fruit. What is my favorite fruit? For me, it's, I don't know if you guys have this in your country, but for me it is blackberries. I love blackberries. They're great as a jam, actually. They're really good. If you haven't tried blackberries, please try them. Blackberries or blueberries, because right now blueberries are in season in Canada, and especially BC. We produce a lot of blueberries, and blueberries are actually extremely healthy, right? They're really good for blood flow and blood circulation in your body. And they're really good to help you think better. So blueberries, really good fruit. Okay, guys, but let's take a look at number 2. Our chat here, it says, discuss the words in the article. Your teacher will help you define these words. So that's what we're going to do. We're just going to look at each word and then think about them. Like, what does it mean? Okay, now, first one here is too easy. I know that you guys know the meaning of bad news, right? Bad news, of course, is the opposite of good news. If something good happens, you have good news. Something bad happens, you have bad news. Last week, for example, there was an explosion in Beirut, Lebanon. that's bad news. A lot of people died. It's very sad, right? Or whenever you check the news about coronavirus and it's spreading and causing more people to get infected or more people to die, that is bad news. But on the other hand, of course, there's also good news, right? Oh my God, it's really hard to think of what some good news is these days. But for me, I have some good news about my own family. My younger daughter, Lila, she got some vaccinations yesterday, so I'm happy about that. And she didn't get a fever, because a lot of times when you have a baby and you get them vaccinated, they'll often develop a fever afterwards. But she didn't get a fever. She seems pretty good. She seems happy. So yeah, that's good news for me, and hopefully for you too. Anyhow, next term we have here is banana lovers. Banana lovers. Now, the expression banana lovers itself is not really that useful, but banana lovers, right, for plural. But, if you combine a noun with lover, it just means, somebody who loves, but not like romantically loves, right, but just really likes something, right? In this case, bananas. But of course, you could combine this with anything, right? If I really like cats, right? Maybe I am a cat lover. I have a cat. I want more cats. I love cats. Now, this is actually not true. I don't have a cat. But I am a cat lover. When I was growing up, we often had cats. I don't know. I just really like cats. But I also really love dogs as well. So I could say, I'm a dog lover, right? Not with the S, of course, because it's singular. Or if there's a kind of food that you really, really like. If you really, really like pizza, you can say, I am a pizza lover, right? Or maybe you're Brazilian, but you really love Chinese food. You could say, for example, I am a Chinese food lover, right? I really love Chinese food. I really, really like it, right? Or with a sport, I'm a basketball lover. I'm a baseball lover. I'm a soccer lover. I'm a football lover. I'm a yada, yada, yada kind of lover. So it's kind of a useful expression. It's maybe kind of exaggerating when you use this, but I do use this expression. Like I do say, for example, oh, I'm a cat lover. I'm also a dog lover. Or I'm a, I don't know, maybe an art lover. That's not true. I'm a movie lover, something like that. So it is a good expression. Okay, guys, but next term we have here is fungus. Fungus is kind of a tough word and kind of a little bit difficult to explain, but I'm going to try my best. Now, fungus is not an animal, but it is also not classified as a plant. So there aren't actually many types of fungus, but examples of fungus include things like mushrooms, right? A lot of people don't know this, but mushrooms are not a plant. They're actually this thing here, a fungus. Or truffles. Maybe you guys know truffles. I think generally truffles can only be found in maybe Europe and some places in North America. They're very, very expensive. And I think a lot of Italians use this in Italian cooking. It adds a really nice, earthy, delicious flavor to a lot of pasta dishes. So truffles are actually extremely expensive and really, really yummy, actually. So there's mushrooms and truffles, and those are good things. But fungus also includes some bad things, too. Fungus includes, like, problems you can develop with your feet, for example. There's a problem called athlete's foot. Now, please, please, please do not go to Google and type in athlete's foot, then look at images. If you do that, you will feel really disgusted and you will probably feel sick. But athlete's foot is a common problem with a fungus that develops in your feet. And it most often happens to athletes because, you know, they're working out, they're running a lot, and they're sweating a lot. And that sweat goes down their body into their feet, right? And fungus develops in that kind of disgusting, hot, humid temperature. And this problem, athlete's foot, this actually happened to my older brother when he was really into jogging. He used to go jogging like once or twice a day. Like it was really excessive. Anyhow, we went to the beach one time, and he took off his shoes, and he took off his socks, and I looked down at his feet, and he had this kind of green, purple, blue stuff in between his toenails and in between his toes, and it was really, really gross. And he's like, yeah, sorry, I have athlete's foot. So to cure the athlete's foot, he had to use medicine for about 6 months. And when he was using the medicine, he couldn't drink any alcohol. So athlete's foot, not cool, really gross, right? Anyhow, but yeah, that is what fungus is, right? It could be mushrooms, it could be truffles, but it could also be some kind of medical problems as well. Now, fungus is an interesting word. It is a noun, but it is a plural noun. The singular form is F-U-N-G-I, right? And you can pronounce this as fungi or fungi, right? So I have a really bad joke for you guys. Do you guys want to hear a bad joke? Okay, well, I'm not sure if you do, but I'm going to tell you anyhow. So here's the joke. A mushroom walks into a bar, and the bartender says to the mushroom, "Hey, mushroom, what are you doing in my bar? Get the hell out of here." The mushroom says, "Hey, come on, I'm a fun guy." End of the joke. Now, the joke here is that fungi sounds like fun guy. Get it? Fun guy, fun guy. Ha ha ha. Okay, of course, that's a terrible joke. But anyhow, so that's fungus, guys. Let's take a look at the next word. Next word is dirt. I'm pretty sure you guys know what dirt is. Dirt is soil. If you go outside, if you go around some grass, beneath the grass, of course, you can find dirt. Dirt is brown, sometimes a little bit black in color. You know, children like to play in dirt. They like to pick it up and rub it on their hands or rub it on their faces or whatever. So that's dirt. So anyhow, not very important. Let's take a look at our next word. Our next word here is variety. Variety. And variety is a useful word, right? Variety. Variety basically means many kinds of something, right? So if you said, for example, I like a variety of different fruits, what you're saying here is like, I like many different kinds of fruits. I like a variety of different fruits. I like strawberries, blackberries, blueberries, cherries, mangoes, oranges, tangerines, etc., etc., etc. So variety is kind of a useful word, right? Variety of blank, variety of something, many different kinds of something. There are many different kinds of people on the earth. There's a variety of different people on the earth. I like a variety of different teas. I like a variety of different cuisines. I like a variety of different people, right? So variety is a pretty useful word. Just means different kinds of. Okay, now of course we do have more vocab to look at, guys. So let me just erase what I have on the board right now. So we will erase this, and then we will look at more. Okay, after variety, next word we have is the word we already talked about, extinct. So we don't really need to talk about that. Just remember, extinct means 100% dead, all gone. After extinct, we have kind of a difficult word. It is genetically modified. genetically modified. Now, we've got two words here. Let's actually talk about the second word first. Modified is the past tense of modify, right? Modify is a verb. To modify means basically to change, right? So if I say, I want to modify this paper or this assignment, that means I want to change this paper, right? Or I'm going to modify my computer programs. I'm going to change the computer programs, right? Now, modify is usually used in things like editing, like assignments, like educational things, or like papers when you're working as a student, or maybe modifying something mechanical. But it can be used in any case where you want to change something. However, we don't usually say, like with cooking, we don't usually say, like, I want to modify this dish. We'd probably say, I want to change this dish. But modify is technically correct in that case. So modify actually as a verb is pretty useful. Now, first word here is genetically modify. Okay, so this is an adverb modifying a verb, right? But this one here, genetically, the root of the word is gene. And gene is a noun, right? Gene or genes. Genes are related to DNA, right? So for each one of us, we have lots of different, or we have a variety of DNA in our bodies, right? Now, don't think genes like, like jeans, like the jeans you wear, and, you know, like Levi or Gap jeans, The spelling is not the same, right? The pronunciation is the same. But genes do not equal genes with a G-J-E-A-N-S, right? But genetically modified, the meaning of this is that the genes, the DNA of something has been changed, right? So oftentimes we talk about GM foods, right? Genetically modified foods. And a lot of people don't want to eat genetically modified foods, right? Like potatoes with the DNA of a strawberry, or corn with the DNA of a pig, or the genes of a pig. That sounds really kind of scary and creepy, but a lot of people who work in agricultural science are often genetically modifying different kinds of food, right? But there's been a movement in, I think, Canada, America, Western Europe, probably all over the world, of people that do not want to eat genetically modified foods. And for myself as well, I don't know if it's really safe. I know that like nobody's died because of genetically modified foods, but I think it's kind of weird and unnatural, so I don't want to eat genetically modified foods. Okay, last term we have here though is resistant. Resistant. And this is an adjective. This is a very hard word to explain. If something is, okay, let me write an example. That might be easier. If something is resistant to, for example, cold weather, something will not be affected by cold weather. Okay, it seems like I really got to change the marker here, so I'm going to switch to black in a second. But the idea of being resistant, if you are resistant to something, it means you cannot be affected by that thing, right? You are fine, basically, right? If I say, I am resistant to alcohol, that means alcohol does not affect me. It doesn't do anything bad to me or good to me either, right? But so if something is resistant, for example, to cold weather, something will not be affected by cold weather. Cold weather will not affect it, right? So a lot of scientists who are developing new kinds of vegetables or fruits. When they are genetically modifying these foods, when they're genetically modifying maybe some corn, maybe they want to make corn that is resistant to cold weather so that they can grow corn also in the winter. But that's very unnatural and kind of strange and like, I don't know about that kind of stuff. So that is the meaning of resistant. But resistant also comes in a verb, to resist. And resist as a verb is kind of an interesting one. To resist something means like to fight back against something. And this something doesn't always have to be like a person or a really bad thing, right? Like I said before, I realized a while ago that I had gained weight, so I need to lose weight. So right now, I am trying to resist eating unhealthy food, right? So when I see unhealthy food, I'm like, oh, I'm so hungry. Like, it's tempting me. Like, I really want that chicken or pizza or hamburger, or whatever it is, right? But now I'm trying to resist. I'm trying to fight back. I'm like, no, don't eat the chicken, even though the chicken is so good, right? So resist is kind of a useful verb too. Anyhow, guys, but we're done with our vocab. Number 3 here looks like a lot of fun. I don't know if we should really do this because of time, but how bad would it be if these things became extinct? Complete the table. Honestly, guys, I think we're going to skip number 3 because I don't really know that much about, what would the negative effects be if these things were gone. But maybe let's just do number 4 really quickly. And if you guys want, I would like you guys to also do number 4. You could write down what your favorite fruits are. But I'm just going to erase this here. Number 4 says, rank these fruits. Which is the best? Which is the least delicious? Or which is your favorite? And which is your least favorite, right? So you got 8 here, and you have to rank them in order of what you like the most to what you like the least, or which one is the least delicious and which one is the most delicious. So we're using a superlative there. All right. So number 4 for me, I'm going to rank them from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And what do we got here? Pineapple, strawberry, papaya. Papaya, I've never had papaya before. Maybe that's weird, yeah, but I've never had papaya. Banana, apple, melon, date, blueberry. Oh, this is pretty tough for me. My favorite one is not here, but okay, number 1, I gotta go strawberry. Strawberry, so no more strawberry. And then for me, probably blueberry would be second. Blueberry, no more blueberry. Date, melon, apple, papaya, pineapple, yeah. Apple would probably be number 3. I like apples. You know what the doctor says? An apple a day will keep you nice and healthy, right? So apple is number 3. Number 4, melon, date, papaya, banana, pineapple. I do like pineapple sometimes. So let's say pineapple for me is number 4. And then melon, date, papaya, banana. Actually, I don't really like melons. Papaya, I don't know, but I'm going to choose papaya as number 5 for myself. Papaya, melon, and then I actually don't like dates. I don't know if you guys have tried dates. Dates are kind of a common fruit, especially in the Middle East. They're also a little bit popular in Canada and America, especially amongst like older people for some reason. But anyhow, and of course I gotta put bananas as my least favorite fruit because bananas are evil and they're disgusting. Nobody should eat bananas. Ha ha ha, just kidding. That's just for me. I don't like bananas. But yeah, you guys can write down what your favorite and what your least favorite are. Maybe it's a little bit fun. But I think what we need to do, guys, is we finally need to move on to our actual listening activity. So what we're going to do, as usual, is you guys are going to listen and try to fill in the blanks. So we're probably going to listen maybe 2 or 3 times. Also, I don't have the answer key, So I'm not cheating here, right? So I also need to fill in the blanks. If the sound is not loud enough, please tell me so that I can modify it, right? So give me a second here. The computer seems to have gone to sleep. All right, guys, but let's get started. I hope you guys enjoy.
Bananas in danger of becoming extinct. This is breakingnewsenglish.com. There is bad news for banana lovers. The most common banana in the world is in danger of becoming extinct. It's called the Cavendish banana, and people eat it all over the world. A fungus called tropical race 4, TP4, is killing millions of banana plants. The fungus blocks small tubes that absorb water inside the plant. This means the plant cannot get the water it needs, and so it dies. Scientists first discovered TP4 in Malaysia in 1990. It quickly spread to other parts of Southeast Asia, and then Australia and Africa. TP4 is spread in dirt that is carried by the wind, water, cars, and even people's boots. A tiny amount of TP4 can spread across large areas very quickly. Some scientists believe TP4 could kill the banana industry. This is not the first time that a variety of banana has become extinct. Before we started eating the Cavendish banana, we ate a variety called the Gros Michel. 50 years ago, the Gros Michel banana was the main banana grown around the world. However, it was hit by a fungus called Panama disease. The Gros Michel banana became extinct in 1965, and banana growers switched to the Cavendish banana. The problem for the banana industry is that even if they burn all their banana plants, the fungus stays in the soil. This means new plants cannot be grown. Scientists say one option is genetically modified bananas, GM bananas, that are resistant to disease like TP4 and Panama disease. This is Jack Rigg, reporting from Vancouver.
Oh, wow. So the reporter, Jack Rigg, he's reporting from Vancouver. Wow, maybe I could run into him. But I wouldn't want to run into Rob White. I really hate Rob White. But anyhow, but Jack Rigg, for me, actually, this was more interesting than I thought it was going to be. Not that I really care about bananas, but once in a while I'm interested in scientific articles, and this is actually a little bit scary. Anyhow, let's listen one more time, guys. Again, try to fill in the blanks, and then let's talk about this. Okay, so here we go again. I think we're going. Okay, let me restart that. For some reason it's not working. Okay.
Bananas
there we go.
In danger of becoming extinct. This is breakingnewsenglish.com. There is bad news for banana lovers. The most common banana in the world is in danger of becoming extinct. It's called the Cavendish banana, and people eat it all over the world. A fungus called tropical race 4, TP4, is killing millions of banana plants. The fungus blocks small tubes that absorb water inside the plant. This means the plant cannot get the water it needs, and so it dies. Scientists first discovered TP4 in Malaysia in 1990. It quickly spread to other parts of Southeast Asia, and then Australia and Africa. TP4 is spread in dirt that is carried by the wind, water, cars, and even people's boots. A tiny amount of TP4 can spread across large areas very quickly. Some scientists believe TP4 could kill the banana industry. This is not the first time that a variety of banana has become extinct. Before we started eating the Cavendish banana, we ate a variety called the Gros Michel. 50 years ago, the Gros Michel banana was the main banana grown around the world. However, it was hit by a fungus called Panama disease. The Gros Michel banana became extinct in 1965, and banana growers switched to the Cavendish banana. The problem for the banana industry is that even if they burn all their banana plants, the fungus stays in the soil. This means new plants cannot be grown. Scientists say one option is genetically modified bananas, GM bananas, that are resistant to disease like TP4 and Panama disease. This is Jack Rigg, reporting from Vancouver.
Okay, guys. All right, so we've listened a second time. To be honest, I think when we compare this listening activity to many of the other listening activities we do, this one is actually not as hard, in my opinion. I know it's not easy, but the blanks themselves are not as long as they usually are. So I think filling in the blanks, at least, is a little bit easier than normal, right? Anyhow, maybe that's just me, though. So after listening twice, for me, I think this is actually a pretty interesting article. Of course, I know that there are different varieties of bananas, and it's just interesting how he talked about how currently the Cavendish banana is the most popular banana eaten around the world, but it is now in trouble. And the problem for the Cavendish banana is that fungus called TP4, or tropical race 4. And this fungus is actually in the dirt and it's spreading around, and once a banana plant is affected by it, they can no longer grow Cavendish banana. So it's said that it got started in Malaysia in 1990, and then it spread to Southeast Asia, to Australia, and Africa. So it sounds like this is pretty bad. Like if you are a banana lover, maybe unfortunately, the Cavendish banana will go extinct and you won't be able to eat it anymore. And this is also based on history, because they said a long time ago in the 50s and before the 50s, the most popular banana was the Gros Michel. And the Gros Michel actually went extinct because it was also affected by a fungus, but that fungus was called the Panama disease, right? So anyhow, I thought this was like kind of interesting, at least more interesting than what I imagined it to be. But let's take a look at our blanks. So I'm just gonna write here blanks, and our first blank here, there blank 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 for banana lovers. What is there for banana lovers? He said there is bad news. There's bad news for banana lovers. The most common banana in the world is in something of becoming extinct. Now, even if you couldn't catch this, you can guess because it's coming from the title. The most common banana in the world is in danger of becoming extinct. It is called the Cavendish banana. People eat it all over the world. A fungus called tropical race 4, or TP4, is killing millions of banana plants. The blank blocks small tubes inside the plant that absorb water. The blank. What is the blank? So TP4 is what? I already said it before, but TP4 is a fungus, right? So the fungus blocks small tubes inside the plant that absorb water. This means the plant cannot get the water it needs, and so it dies. Scientists first discovered TP4 in Malaysia in 1990. And then number 4. It blank spread to other parts of Southeast Asia and then to Australia and Africa. It spread rapidly, right? Rapidly or quickly. So it spread quickly to other parts of Southeast Asia, Africa, Australia, etc., etc. And it says here, TP4 is spread in dirt that is carried by the wind water, cars, and even people's what? So number 5 actually is footwear. Now the answer itself is actually not the word footwear, but it's a kind of footwear. He said boots. So it's very easy for this fungus, TP4, to spread because it's spread by people's boots, cars, water, wind. So I don't know how humans could fight this fungus and protect the Cavendish banana. Anyhow, a tiny amount of TP4 can spread across large areas very quickly. Some scientists believe TP4 could kill the banana industry. This is not the first time that a variety of banana has become what? Now, we talked about endangered, it's become, boom, extinct. So this is not the first time that a variety of banana has become extinct. Before we started eating the Cavendish banana, we ate a variety called the Gros Michel, right? Now, Gros Michel, that word itself sounds very French, not English. But anyhow, 50 years ago, the Gros Michel blank was the main banana grown around the world. So number 7 is actually pretty easy. The Gros Michel banana was the main banana grown around the world. However, it was hit by a fungus called Panama disease. The Gros Michel banana became extinct in 1965. Wow, that was pretty quick, eh? Anyhow, and banana growers switched to the Cavendish banana. So maybe that should give us a little bit of hope. Like in the past, a lot of people ate the Gros Michel banana, but then it was affected by Panama disease and then they all went extinct. So what the banana growers did was they just switched to a different variety of banana, and that different variety was the Cavendish banana. Now, if the Cavendish banana goes extinct, maybe we can just switch to a different kind of banana and we'll be okay. I don't know. So anyhow, guys, sorry. Moving on to number 8 here. The problem for the banana industry is that even if they burn all their banana plants, the fungus stays in the soil. This means new plants cannot be grown. Scientists say one option is genetically modified bananas that are blank to diseases like TP4 and Panama disease. Now, even if you didn't catch that last blank, we looked at a word that meant, if something is this, then it is not affected by. So the word we're looking for actually for number 9 is resistant, right? So if they can find and modify genetically or genetically modify the banana so that they are resistant to TP4, this fungus, then we can protect the bananas and we can continue to eat these bananas. But I don't know, I'm not a food scientist. Maybe if all the Cavendish bananas are wiped out, maybe there's another type or variety of bananas that we can eat instead. But again, I don't know much about food technology and I don't really know that much about bananas. All right, guys, I think what we should do here, let's also take a look at our true-false questions. So let's get this started before we take a break here. Hopefully we can get done. And let's take a look at our first one. The world's most common banana has just become extinct. Has the Cavendish banana just become extinct? No, it has not. The answer is false. It is not extinct right now. It is in danger of becoming extinct, but it is not extinct right now. So let's take a look at B. Sorry, these are not numbers, these are letters. A and then B. Okay. The world's most common banana is in danger from a fungus. This is true, right? Because the Cavendish banana is in danger of TP4 or tropical race 4, which actually is a fungus, right? So that damn fungus. C, A banana disease is stopping banana plants from getting water. That's an interesting, well, it's not a banana disease, it's a fungus, right? So I think we have to say false. It is, the fungus is stopping the bananas from getting water, that's true. But it's not a banana disease, it's a fungus that affects bananas. Okay, let's take a look at D. The banana disease can spread via cars and on people's boots. That is true. Although again, should we call this banana disease? Fungus called tropical race 4, TP4, is killing millions of banana plants. This is a fungus. It's not a disease, but it does travel by boots and also by cars. So I think we'll say true here, but I'm not going to modify C. Anyhow, E, guys, this is the first time a variety of banana could become extinct. So the Cavendish banana could become extinct because of TP4. It is not extinct, it's just in danger, right? Is this the first time? No, it is not. We know that in the past, people ate the Gros Michel banana, and that one became extinct. So no, this is not the first time. So we have to say false. Okay, so F here. Today's banana disease was first discovered in Panama. No, that is false, because we know that the problem that destroyed the Gros Michel started in Panama. But TP4, the fungus, that started in, what was it? Malaysia, right? So F is false. Okay, let's take a look at G. Burning all banana plants will not help solve the problem. So yes, this is true. That's what they said. Burning all the banana plants doesn't matter because the fungus is in the soil, right? So burning the plant doesn't help anything, right? So unfortunately, the answer is true. Our last one here, H, says GM bananas. Now, GM is short for genetically modified. Genetically modified bananas would also not be able to resist the banana disease. Now, in the last sentence here, it says scientists say one option is genetically modified bananas that are resistant to diseases like TP4 and Panama disease. So they're saying they want to genetically modify them so that they are resistant to these things. But GM bananas would also not be able to resist the banana diseases. No, that's not true. That's false. But actually, we just don't know yet because maybe one has not been developed. Now, before we take a really quick break here, guys, actually, I need to go back and modify, what was that? C. A banana disease is stopping banana plants from getting water. C is actually correct. Now, the reason why I said that it was false is because I thought it's not referred to as a banana disease. I thought it was just a fungus, and that's true. It is a fungus that affects these bananas. But I guess we can refer to it as a disease. So my mistake, but yeah, I gotta modify C. Okay, guys, but we're doing pretty good. We're making good progress here, but we need to continue this after the break. So let's continue this after the break. We'll take a look at some comprehension questions and some discussion questions, and then we're gonna look at some other questions as well related to the first conditional. So let's take a break for 10 minutes, and when we come back, we'll get into our second class. Okay guys, hey, welcome back to Live PST. We are moving on to our comprehension questions. So this should be on the next sheet, or this should be on the back of your sheet, right? So our first question, and I hope you guys can remember the listening article, is what kind of news did the article say there was for banana lovers? Okay, so when I write this out, I'm going to try to give full complete sentences. They said there what? Now remember, that came in the first line. It said there is bad news for banana lovers. So they said there is bad news for banana lovers. Okay, number 2. What is the name of the banana that is going extinct or may go extinct? Now, actually, I guess I should grab the other sheet because for you guys too, when you do the comprehension questions, you will probably have to refer back to the article. So that actually came in the third line. It is called the Cavendish banana people eat all over the world. So what is the name of the banana that is going extinct? The name of the banana is the Cavendish banana. Banana. Okay, so we got number 2. Number 3. What is that? The disease. Now that's grammatically wrong, guys. That should be struck out. It should just say, what is the disease that is stopping the banana plant from getting? What kind of question is this? Sorry guys, number 3, there are too many English mistakes in this question. The question should be, I don't know why it's so grammatically odd. What is the disease that is stopping the banana plant not from getting, but the banana plant from growing? So sorry guys, I just really hate it if I see too many English mistakes. So number 3, that is what the question should be. What is the disease that is stopping the banana plant from growing? Now our answer here, what is the name of the disease? What is the name of the fungus that is affecting the Cavendish banana? We talked about it before, right? It had a longer name and a shorter name. The shorter name was TP4. The longer name is tropical race 4. So I'm just going to write here the name of the disease is tropical race 4 or TP4. And there we go. Okay, let's take a look at number 4. Number 4 says, where was TP4 first discovered? Okay, I believe that's on the back side. It says scientists first discovered TP4 in Malaysia in 1990. Okay, it was first discovered in Malaysia in Southeast Asia. Okay, number 5. How much TP4 can spread across large areas very quickly? I think that's a hard question. How much TP4 can spread across large areas very quickly? It said later here in the article, a tiny amount of TP4 can spread across large areas very quickly. So I guess we're looking for the answer tiny. A tiny amount can spread over a large area very quickly. And I guess that's why they're so worried about TP4. Okay, number 6. When was the Gros Michel the world's main banana? So the Gros Michel was that other variety, that other kind of banana. So taking a look back at the article, before we started eating the Cavendish banana, we ate a variety called the Gros Michel. 50 years ago, the Gros Michel banana was the main banana grown around the world. Now we have to keep in mind, when was this article created? I think this article is kind of old, from like the early 2000s, because if we think about 50 years ago from now, that would be 1970. And the Gros Michel went extinct in 1965. So I think this was probably, this article unfortunately is probably really old. This is probably from the year 2000. So 50 years ago from then would have been 1950. So I think what we should say is 70 years ago, because we want to say 50 years ago, but plus the 20 years from when this article came out. So let's say 70 to be safe. When was the Gros Michel the world's main banana? The Gros Michel was the world's main banana about 70 years ago. Okay, number 7 here. When did the Gros Michel become extinct? The Gros Michel banana became extinct in 1965. So our answer is right in the article, right? So let's just write the Gros Michel became extinct in 1965. Okay, number 8. Why is burning all banana plants not an effective solution? It said the problem for the banana industry is that even if they burn all their banana plants, the fungus stays in the soil. So the problem is the fungus stays in the oil. It is not an effective solution because the disease is in the soil, in the dirt. Okay, number 9, let's do that one more here, and then I'm going to erase this and write number 10 up here. What cannot be grown because of the fungus? New banana plants cannot be grown. New banana plants cannot be grown because of the fungus. Okay guys, so we got 1 through 9. So there are all the answers here. I hope this made sense to you guys. And also I hope like you guys would get similar answers, but of course we got one more. So I just want to erase this stuff, and then we'll take a look at number 10, and then we'll take a quick look at our discussion questions, and then move on to the other discussion questions. So let me erase this here. And there we go. Okay, number 10. What do scientists say could be a solution? Okay, so is there a solution? Maybe this was at the end of the article. Scientists say one option is genetically modified bananas that are resistant to diseases like TP4 and Panama disease. So they said genetically modified. I'm just going to write GM, being a little bit lazy, but GM is often used instead of saying genetically modified. They said GM bananas, bananas that are resistant to diseases like TP4 or Panama disease could be effective or useful, could be a solution. All right, guys, so that's all of our questions and answers for the comprehension questions here. Of course, beneath that, we have our discussion questions. I'm not going to write an answer for the discussion questions. That would be unnecessary and take a lot of time. But I'll just give you guys my own opinion, and hopefully that's a good model answer for you guys. So discussion question number 1, it says, what did you think when you read the headline? So the headline is like the title of an article, right? The headline here is, bananas in danger of becoming extinct. Now, for me, when I first read the headline, I thought, I don't like bananas. I am a banana hater. I'm not a banana lover. So when I first read the headline, I thought, who cares? I don't like bananas anyhow. Okay. However, that's very, very selfish. I know a lot of people that like bananas, and bananas are probably an important part of certain people's diets around the world. So of course I shouldn't be happy about this, right? Bananas can be a nutritious fruit for lots of people, so I guess it would be sad. But the first thing I did think was, who cares? I don't really care. But thinking about it again, it would be sad if all bananas went extinct. Number 2, what could people eat instead of bananas? I don't know. Basically anything. I would have to do research on this, right? Now, I know bananas are, they're a good fruit, right? They contain a lot of good nutrients and a lot of good vitamins. I don't know enough about the certain kinds of vitamins or nutrients that bananas contain. I know they have something called potassium, which is actually quite important. But I think, instead of eating bananas, we could eat other fruits or maybe vegetables that contain similar vitamins and have a similar nutritional content. I just don't know what those are. But I'm pretty sure that if we can't eat bananas, while it is sad and while it is negative, I'm sure we would be fine. I think we could switch to the production of some other fruit or some other vegetable that would also be filling and nutritious and contain vitamins. But it would still be a bad thing to not be able to eat bananas. Number 3, what do you think about the article you just listened to? Honestly, I thought the article was a lot more interesting than I thought it was going to be. Sometimes I like, news articles that are related to science or scientific articles. This one I thought was actually pretty interesting. I didn't know that in the past, like in the 1950s, people were eating a completely different banana called the Gros Michel. And now I guess most people are eating this Cavendish banana. That's kind of interesting for me. I like the idea of this disease that is going to kill the Cavendish banana is a big problem. But I think, agricultural scientists are quite smart these days. So maybe in the last 20 years, they've already created a solution to protect the Cavendish banana from this fungus called tropical race 4 or TP4. So also I like reading articles about things like genetically modified foods. It's not something that I think about often, but I think it's like a very interesting subject. I think for some people, genetically modified is always a bad thing, but sometimes it can help produce more of a certain kind of vegetable or wheat or rice or fruit. And I think that can be really good actually, because if we can increase production, we can feed more people. And that's a big problem in many developing countries, in Africa or South Asia or whatever, the Middle East. There seems to be a problem with overpopulation. How are we going to feed these people? So in order to feed these people, I actually think genetically modified foods, while they are a little bit scary, are going to be an important part of helping to feed the planet. Anyhow, number 4, how bad is this news? For me personally, it's not that bad. Again, I don't like bananas. However, for countries where a lot of people rely on bananas for nutrition, this news is quite bad. So overall, it's pretty bad news in my opinion. Number 5, how much of a banana lover are you? I am not a banana lover. Again, I'm the opposite of a banana lover. I'm a banana hater. But still, I think it would be sad if bananas disappeared. Number 6, are you surprised by this news? Why or why not? I guess I'm not surprised by this news because I've read in articles in the past 5 or 10 years about different varieties of wheat or different varieties of rice that are also in big trouble. Like the fact that a fungus or disease is also wiping them out. For me, I would personally feel much more worried if scientists say like, oh my God, like all the wheat is going to disappear, right? Or all the rice is going to disappear, because that would affect, billions of people. There's also like one thing I'm pretty worried about in regards to agriculture and food is in the past, this has been going on for a while actually, the past 10 years, 15 years, bees have been mysteriously disappearing, right? And a lot of people don't know this, but bees are a very important part of agriculture, right? They help us to grow many different kinds of plants. So I'm personally most worried about, bees going extinct, because that would affect the ecosystem and that would drastically affect agriculture. Anyhow, so am I surprised by this news? No. Am I a little bit worried about it? Yes, but I'm more worried about other kinds of foods. Number 7, why do you think scientists cannot help the banana plants? Well, actually, I just don't think this question is true. They were saying in the article that it would be very hard to fight TP4 because it is in the soil. However, this article is maybe 20 years old. So in my opinion, since then, I am sure that very, very intelligent scientists have worked on this problem and maybe created a solution. I would have to do research later. So I don't think this question is true. Why do you think scientists cannot help the banana plants? I think scientists can and probably have, because I just think that, well, it's hard to say, right? Like right now we're all affected by COVID-19 or the coronavirus, right? And scientists right now are racing to try to develop a vaccine, right? Or at least try to develop a cure. Some people say maybe there will be no cure for COVID-19, right? And that would be I think a pretty big disaster for the human race, right? And that would mean coronavirus is always going to be with us, and it's always going around, and we might be affected by it. And it is a really awful disease for quite a few people. For other people, it doesn't seem to be so bad, though. But, still, we have to be careful about this. So, what was my point here? I can't remember my point. But, okay, my main point here is that, I do think I am optimistic that scientists will develop a vaccine and figure out how to deal with COVID-19. So I think when we do have a big problem like COVID-19, I think we can deal with it. If all the bananas are going to go extinct, I think we can deal with it. Okay, number 8, how useful are bananas? I really don't know. I think they're a useful fruit. The one good thing about bananas is that they are portable. Like you can take bananas anywhere, right? You don't need a container for bananas, right? Because they have like their own container. So they're kind of like a nice, compact, portable fruit, right? They're kind of filling, which I found out when I was on the banana diet. They're kind of filling and they're pretty nutritious. So I think bananas are quite useful actually. It's just I don't like them. Anyhow, number 9. How would you feel if all bananas died? Oh, geez. I would feel, oh, I gotta turn off the speaker here. Sorry, guys. I would feel kind of sad if all bananas died because I'd be worried about people who are maybe living in poor countries that would rely on bananas. What 3 adjectives best describe bananas and why? Oh, well, I already used them. I think the best 3 adjectives for describing bananas are portable, compact, and nutritious. Now, nutritious includes a lot of nutrients, so if something is nutritious, that's a good thing, right? Bananas are nutritious. Lots of other foods are nutritious as well, especially things like quinoa or kale or something. Compact is a good adjective. Compact means like can be compacted or can be put into a small space. Like a banana is kind of useful because like I could throw a banana in my bag and I don't have to worry about it, right? Maybe the outside gets a little bit dirty, but that's okay. They're quite compact. They're easy to pack. And portable means can be moved from one place to another with no problem. And again, that goes back to the skin of the banana. You know, I could throw that in my dirty bag and carry it to work or go home, but I could, even if it gets dirty on the outside, who cares? I can still open it up and eat the banana inside. Yum, yum. So the banana is actually kind of a really cool food that way. It's just for me, I don't think they taste good, but that's just me. So I think in conclusion, guys, do not go on the banana diet, because if you go on the banana diet, trust me, you will hate bananas after you're done. So instead, I recommend the tomato diet. The tomato diet is just as effective, and I still love tomatoes, right? Maybe I have to go back on the tomato diet because I gotta lose weight. Anyhow, guys, so that's about it for our listening activity. That took quite a long time. What you guys should do now is take a look at the sheet here. It says first conditional discussion. And we've got 2 parts here. We've got these questions on the top and these questions on the bottom. Now, this is a really good exercise, especially if you have a partner at home to practice with, right? And especially if you have a printer. If you have a printer, print it off, right? Print it off, cut it in half. One of you gets one part, the other person gets the other part, and you ask and answer questions back and forth, right? Now, what I'm supposed to do here is take a look at some of these questions with you guys and model some answers. But you'll notice the title is First Conditional Discussion. So, with a lot of the answers here, hopefully we're going to be using the first conditional, right? Because that's what we talked about yesterday, so this should be good practice. So let's take a look at student A's questions. We have, and it says here, do not show these to student B. Uh-oh, I'm student A and student B. What am I going to do? That's okay. Anyhow, let's take a look at number 1. What will you do if you miss your family and friends? That seems like a simple yet complicated question. Okay, so what I'm going to do here, guys, maybe I should write the answer for some of these, maybe not all of them. So student A, number 1, what will you do if you miss your family and friends? So when you answer this, right, the second portion here, we have the main clause, right? What will you do? And then we have the if clause, if you miss your family and friends. So when we're answering this, let's start with the if clause first. So I'm going to write here, not if you, if I, right? If I miss my family and friends, if I miss my family and friends, so remember, this is our if clause right here. And then remember the second portion, it will be divided by a comma. And then the second portion here will be our main clause. Now remember, I could do this the other way around. I could start with my main clause first and then have the if clause second, and then I wouldn't include the comma. So hopefully that's good review for you guys. But anyhow, if I miss my family and friends, now remember when you're writing something in the first conditional, you're going to be using the future tense, so will plus infinitive. So I will, if I miss my family and friends, I will, I don't know, the answer for me is kind of easy for my family. I will go home. If I miss my wife and my kids, I will go home. If I miss my friends, like, come on, man. Like, I'm in my 30s. Like, I miss my friends. I don't know, I'll just give them a call, all right? I'm not going to go to them. Anyhow, so that's my answer for number 1. Number 2, what will you do if you have problems with the English language? This question is no good for me, so I'm not going to answer this one. This question is more appropriate for you guys. What will you do if you have problems with the English language? So again, start with the if clause first. If I have problems with the English language, comma, I will plus infinitive, right? I will study English harder. I don't know. I will study English, or I will pay more attention to my English, or I will do something, right? So let me skip on down, guys. Maybe number 3. What will you do if you can't stand the heat? Oh, that's a good question for me because I hate hot weather. Now, to stand is an important verb, right? To stand. And of course, stand by itself, it can mean, just what I'm doing right now. I am standing. I'm not sitting, right? I'm standing. But to stand can also mean to tolerate or to be able to handle, right? So if I can't stand the heat, it's like, oh my God, it's too hot. There's too much heat outside. I need to go inside. But if I lived in a hot place, okay, I'm going to write here, if I can't stand the heat, I will buy an air conditioner. So I know for some of you guys out there, you might be thinking like, well, an air conditioner, an aircon, right? But we say air conditioner. An air conditioner is probably like a really basic thing for you guys. Maybe you guys living in South America, like Brazil. It's a hot country, right? I'm sure a lot of people have an air conditioner, or other countries in South America, or Japan and Korea. I know most people in Japan and Korea have an air conditioner in their apartment or their house because it just gets too hot and humid in the summertime, right? But in Vancouver, yeah, in the summer it gets a little bit hot, but it's not very humid here, and it doesn't really get that hot. And if it does get hot, it's only hot in July and August. So like the hot season is only up to 2 months. So a lot of people don't buy air conditioners here because it's just not necessary. But if I can't stand the heat, I will buy an air conditioner. Hooray! All right, moving on to number 4. What will you do if you want to move back to your home country? Okay, now again, this question doesn't work for me. I already live in my home country. But if I were in this situation, if I wanted to move back to my home country, I will... Okay, now I guess I have to put my mind in, or I have to put myself in the shoes of a Korean person, or a Japanese person, or a Brazilian, or a Mexican, or a Chilean, or a Colombian, or an Indian, or a European that is living in Canada and who is feeling homesick, and they don't understand Canadian culture, and they think Vancouver is boring, and blah blah blah, right? But my advice is suck it up, right? Suck it up. You paid money to come here. You should study hard, right? I'm sorry, it's like a mean answer, but if I wanted to move back to my home country, I will change my mind and try harder. It doesn't matter, right? I will study English harder, or I will work harder. I will distract myself. I won't give up. I will not give up. I will not go back to my home country. That's just my opinion. Anyhow, Number 5, what will you do if you fall ill? Ooh, this is a good question because of COVID-19. If I fall ill, if I suddenly get sick and I think I have coronavirus, of course, if I have it, it would be likely that my wife and children also have it. But to be careful, if I fall ill, I will go to my brother's house. If I'm really sick, I will stay away from my family, hoping that they don't already have it, right? Then I will go to my brother's house and I will stay there for 2 weeks or a little bit longer, self-quarantine. Hopefully I don't have to go to the hospital, but I don't want my family members to get sick, so I will self-quarantine at my older brother's house. Number 6, what will you do if you run out of money? Number 6 is a good one. If I run out of money, I will. Now, first things first, this phrasal verb here, run out. This is a really useful phrasal verb. To run out of something. So your preposition is of, run out of money, run out of time, run out of energy, run out of sugar, run out of spice, run out of cereal, run out of rice, right? To run out of something means the amount of something is decreasing very quickly, right? In this case, if I run out of money, that means I don't have any more money. Usually we use this most often in the present continuous tense, and we say, I am running out of something. I'm running out of money. In this case, in the present continuous tense, it means that you still have money, but you're quickly losing money, and maybe you will have no money pretty soon. If you use it in the past tense, ran out, I ran out of money, it means you have no more money, right? Or like, let's say you're taking a test, right? And you've only got 5 minutes left. You're like, oh my God, I'm running out of time. And then after 5 minutes is up and the teacher says, give me your test, you would say, oh, I ran out of time, right? I was not able to complete it. Anyhow, blah, 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 I'm talking too much. If I run out of money, I will, I will get another job. Or I will get a part-time job. I will do something. I'll get some money. Okay, number 7. What will you do if you get bored? Oh, that's a very nice, innocent question. If I get bored, I will read the news. Sorry guys, this answer is so incredibly boring, but everybody has a smartphone these days, so if you get bored, I'm pretty sure you just use your phone. For me, I like reading news on my phone, so if I get bored, I will read the news. Sorry, that's very boring. Okay. Number 8, what will you do if you don't like the food in the UK? Yeah, okay, this is a good question because as far as I know, the food in the United Kingdom is kind of garbage, right? English people from the UK are pretty well known for having like the worst cuisine in the Western world, right? Just across the shore from them, you know, not too far from them, there's France, and France is well known for having one of the world's best cuisines, like, you know, France, Japan, and, you know, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But England, bleh, their food is really well known for being quite awful. So, if I don't like the food in the UK, I will leave. Of course, I'm just exaggerating, that's just a joke. Probably I will cook at home if I don't like the food in the United Kingdom. What will you do if you split up with your partner? Ooh, that's a really tough one. Now, split up with your partner means, of course, you break up, or in the case where you're married, you get divorced. Split up. You are separated, right? Game over. So that's incredibly sad to think about because I'm married, but if I split up with my partner, I will, no, I don't know actually. I will get depressed. That's lame. That's a boring answer and kind of weak, but yeah, that's probably just true. I don't know what I would do, but I will get depressed. What will you do if you feel lonely? Now, I never feel lonely anymore, but if I feel lonely, I will call my family members. So if I get lonely, that one's easy for me. I'll call my wife, maybe talk to my kid on the phone, or maybe I'll talk to one of my brothers or my sister or my mom or my dad. I come from a pretty large family, especially for Canada. There are 4 of us in total. Well, 4 siblings anyhow. But of course, my mom, my dad, there's my older brother Joe, there's myself, my younger brother Dave, and also my younger sister Trish. So because I come from a big family, when I was a kid, I never really had to feel lonely because there was always somebody to talk to. And honestly, sometimes that was a bad thing because when you come from a large family, you don't have as much privacy, but overall, it's a good thing. So I never really felt lonely. All right, guys, so that's student A's question. Let's take a quick look at student B's questions. Maybe these will be also pretty interesting. Student B's questions. Da-da-da. So let's see here. What will you do? What will you do if your neighbors annoy you? That's a good question because this often happens in life, right? If my neighbors annoy me, I will complain to my manager or my neighbors. So for me, this isn't like a really difficult issue. Like if my neighbors annoy me, and this has happened before, usually I'll complain to the manager of the building because I'm in an apartment building, and he will usually do something because the manager or the landlord of my building is actually the best one I've ever had. He's like actually effective and actually cares. So he's pretty awesome. But you know, if I can just talk to them directly, I could probably fix the problem anyhow. And I don't need to talk to them in an aggressive way, just like, hey, I'm your neighbor, I'm living in room blah, blah, blah. So sometimes you're a little bit loud. Could you keep it down? Or maybe I'll write a note. Dear neighbor, recently you have been very loud. I would like you to please be quiet. Thank you very much, your neighbor, right? No, I probably won't write a note, but I might talk to them directly or to my manager. Okay, 2, what will you do if someone phones you during the English lesson? Now, this is not good for me because I'm not taking English lessons, but, well, okay, that could mean like somebody calls me right now. The answer here for me is pretty simple, but if someone calls me during a lesson, I will ignore it. There we go. So I'll just ignore it. That's a pretty simple solution for me. What will you do if you don't enjoy life in the UK? Okay, so this is obviously British, and this is assuming that you are a student living in the UK. What will you do if you don't enjoy life in the UK? If I don't enjoy life in the UK, I will leave. Okay, now that's an easy answer for me because I'm a native English speaker, right? If I don't like life in the UK, I can simply return to Canada. But I could also go to other English-speaking countries, right? I could go to Ireland. I could go to New Zealand. I could go to Australia, maybe USA, maybe Singapore, right? So I could go to a lot of different places. this would be harder for people who are maybe coming from a developing country, and then, you know, going to UK is like a big deal. But the UK, in comparison to like Canada or the United States, in my opinion, is not as good. It's a little bit, you make less money in the UK than you would in Canada and America. Like, I think New Zealand and the UK, not as rich per person as Canada, the United States, or Australia. Currently, Australia is probably the best mix of safety, good infrastructure, relatively nice people, not all the time, but very good economy. So I think Australia would be the best, honestly. US usually would be good, but because of things like COVID-19, not safe. So I wouldn't want to stay in the US. But number 4, oh, and of course Canada, you know, Canada, we're doing all right. We're doing pretty good. What will you do if your friend invites you to the cinema tonight? Ooh, if my friend invites me to the cinema tonight, I will decline. Okay, now decline is a good word here. And decline has a couple of different meanings, but if you decline an offer, or if you decline somebody, it means you say, no, sorry, I can't go, right? I have to decline you, right? So that is what decline means. So kind of a useful term, right? Okay, number 5. What will you do if your purse or wallet is stolen? Oh dear, that would be terrible. So of course, in my case, I don't have a purse, but if my wallet is stolen, I will, well, I guess this doesn't need to be complicated, right? I will call the police. I guess that's really the only thing you can do if your wallet's stolen. Like, I guess I could also write down, I will look for it, or I will try to find the person, but that's really unlikely, right? So, yeah, if my wallet is stolen, I will call the police. Now, sorry guys, I'm already on number 5, but I hope you guys can see the way I'm answering these questions here. Like, this is good practice for practicing the first conditional, right? Because the second part, the if clause of each question, I am using that as the beginning part of my answer. So I'm always responding to the question by using one of the parts of the question in the answer, right? If clause first, first, and then I will infinitive, right? I will do this. Anyhow, moving on to number 6, and I think soon we'll be taking a break here, but what will you do if you get a headache? Okay, well, very common situation. If I get a headache, I will, now again, the answer here doesn't have to be complicated, at least not for me. I will take some Tylenol, right? If I get a headache, I will take some Tylenol or aspirin, right? Or like a more, maybe a better term to use here is a more general term. I will take some pain relief medication, right? But usually we just say Tylenol or aspirin, something like that, right? Okay, one more and then let's take a break. 7. What will you do if you split up with your partner? Wait, wasn't that the same question on the other one? Yeah, that's the same question. Okay, let me modify the question. What will you do if? What will you do if? What's a good if question? Using the first conditional. What will you do if? if you lose your job? Okay, now this is a pretty good question recently because unfortunately a lot of people are losing their jobs because of the impact of coronavirus. So let me answer my own question. That's really lame, right? But anyhow, if I lose my job, I will... If I lose my job, I will... If I lose my job, I will... I will start a business. Yeah, instead of, like, most people would probably say, if I lose my job, I will find another job. Of course, that's the practical thing to do, right? And in my case, I probably would just find another job. However, yeah, I'd prefer to start my own business. So if I lose my job, I will start a business. Okay, we have time actually for one more quick one before we take a break here. Number 8. What will you do if your neighbors annoy you? What? I already answered this one. Wait, was it the same one? Yeah, I think that's the same one. What will you do if you fall ill? What will you do if you run out of money? If you get bored? Split up with your friend. Huh? Didn't I answer this question before? Maybe I was accidentally looking at the other side. Didn't I answer this question? I feel like I did answer this question, but yeah, no, number 8, what will you do if your neighbors annoy you? If my neighbors annoy me, I will complain. And that's all I'm going to say. Yeah, I would definitely complain about them. All right, guys, but I think that's enough for now. Let's take a short break. After the short break, I'll just go over the last 2 questions on student B's first conditional practice. Then we will hopefully get into that very fun elective material. That will be kind of hard to explain, but we will try our best with the elective material. And we'll see how it goes. Like, it's kind of fun, but also kind of difficult. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, let me take a break, and when we come back, we'll take a look at our elective material. Wow, this elective material is complicated. Yeah, we'll try our best though. Okay, guys. I'm going to take a break for 10 minutes. I'll see you again in a Is it good? We're going? Anyhow, we are now in our third class. Right before the break, we almost completed Student B's questions. We're on number 9. So let's take a look at number 9. Now, actually, with number 9 here, there's something a little bit strange, a little bit odd about the question here. Because you'll notice the question says, what will you do if you... What? What will you do if it rains at the weekend? So, this is another question with some mistakes in it, so I really hate this question. It should say, what will you do if it rains on the weekend? Now, at the weekend is okay, but it's only okay in the United Kingdom, maybe in Australia, and maybe in New Zealand. I'm actually not sure about that, but definitely in the UK it's okay. British people say at the weekend. But in Canada and America, we don't say at the weekend. Of course, we do say on the weekend, right? So anyhow, let me answer this question. I'm going to write here, if it rains on the weekend, my family and I will, I don't know. Well, of course, if it rains on the weekend, we probably won't go out, unfortunately, but we'd still have to go grocery shopping. But if it rains on the weekend, my family and I will stay in. So actually this here, to stay in, that's actually kind of a useful phrasal verb, right? To stay in. To stay in just means basically stay at home. So yeah, if it rains on the weekend, my family and I will stay in. All right, now we just have one more question, guys, here before we move on to our elective activity. And our last question here in number 10 is, what will you do if you run out of food in your house? So good, we're using the phrasal verb run out again. But if I run out of food in my house, comma, I will... Well, the answer is pretty obvious. If I run out of food, I will go grocery shopping. I will get some more food. All right, guys, good. So I know it's kind of weird that I'm doing the speaking practice and giving you guys all the answers or all my answers. I'm sure your guys' answers would be quite different. But the main thing here is the grammar structure, right? When somebody is asking you a conditional question, what will you do if blah, blah, blah? When you answer the question, it's a good idea to start with the if clause first, and then the will plus infinitive part afterwards, the main clause second, right? So if somebody says like, hey, what will you do if yada yada? You respond by saying, if yada yada, I will blah, 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 right? So the structure is actually not too hard, and this is actually really good practice. So again, if you have time, find a partner, look at the sheet, and practice this with them. This is really good. But let's stop it there for today and take a look at our elective material. Now, our elective material today is too extensive. There is actually too much. So what we will do is we will try to get through this, but we most likely we will not be able to finish it all, right? But we will take a look at it. It is actually really, really interesting. It is incredibly interesting stuff. And yeah, so now guys, this is a little bit confusing because there's a lot of information here, and I might have mixed up the sheets. 6, okay, 7, 8, 9, okay. All right. Now, there is actually two different things to do. What I would like you guys to do is to take a look at this sheet here. And it says Palmistry hand diagram. Okay. Now, you can see on the hand diagram, there are 3 different lines on it. There's a heart line, a headline, and a lifeline. Ooh, interesting. So we're talking about palmistry. Now, please don't take a look at this sheet here. This one is just for me. But for the first part here, I want to introduce to you guys the idea of fortune telling. Now, so let's think about this. Fortune telling. What is fortune telling? Does anybody know? If you know, write down an answer. Feel free to give me an answer and say, hey, Alan, I know what fortune telling is. Fortune telling is blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. And I might say, hey, that's great. You know what you're talking about. But fortune telling, what is it? What do you think? Fortune telling is all about predicting the future, right? Predicting. Now, what does predict mean? Now, I've already written down quite a lot of vocabulary on the side here, guys. So let me erase the vocab here. And let me write down here the verb predict. Predict is basically similar to like guess or similar to estimate. They're not exactly the same. Please keep that in mind. They are not exactly the same. There is a difference between all of these words here. But predict is, trying to make a guess about the future. So there's predict, which is the verb, and prediction, which is the noun. Predict and prediction are both really, really useful. Like in a question, we might say, what do you predict the weather will be like tomorrow? So this is very similar to saying, what do you think the weather will be like tomorrow? What do you guess the weather will be like tomorrow? Or what do you estimate the weather will be like tomorrow? Now, when you answer, you can use either the verb or the noun. If you use the verb, you might just say, I predict. Now, we're talking about weather. So because we already use weather here, I'm just going to refer to it as it. I predict it will be sunny tomorrow. Or if we want to use the noun, so verb, if we want to use the noun, we could say, my prediction, like my guess, my prediction is that it, again the weather, will be sunny tomorrow. So anyhow, using prediction or using either the verb or the noun, in my opinion, it's easier to use the verb. I predict something, right? I guess, looking into the future or thinking about the future, that this will happen, right? So these days, of course, a lot of people are making predictions about when will the coronavirus end, right? And I'm not a scientist. I have a prediction, right? I have a prediction and I can predict, but I will probably be wrong. However, I predict that a vaccine will be developed at the end of this year. And then I predict that we will get the vaccine in about the spring of 2021. That is my prediction. However, it's just a guess. I could be totally wrong, right? Anyhow, getting back to this main topic here, fortune telling. Fortune telling is all about predicting the future, right? And so there are people who tell other people's fortunes, and we call those people fortune tellers. Fortune tellers. Wow, right? So, usually a fortune teller is working in a kind of shop or store, and you come in and they look at your hands, right? And they're like, oh, your future is bright. You will meet a beautiful woman, right? Or you will meet such a wonderful husband, and he will have so much money, right? And that is what a fortune teller is. If you punch fortune teller into Google and you go to Google Images, usually a fortune teller is depicted as a woman, sometimes or more often as an older woman, and they're usually wearing some kind of shawl or some kind of head covering, and they're usually like around a crystal ball, and they're like, ooh, let me predict your future, right? Anyhow, guys, so my question for you is, what are the different ways of predicting the future? Do you guys know? What kind of different ways do we have for predicting the future? Now, we do have reasonable ways of predicting the future, right? People often predict the future of the economy, right? So economists look at data and then they think, okay, so next year the economy is going to be better, or it's going to be worse, or it's going to grow at this rate or grow at that rate. And so economics and economists make a lot of predictions about the economy. On the other hand, meteorologists, people who study weather patterns, they predict the weather. They're going to predict what it will be like tomorrow, or what it will be like, next week or 2 weeks from now, or maybe whether this winter will be colder or warmer than usual, right? So those are reasonable predictions, right? People are looking at data and then they are making predictions, right? But then there are fortune tellers. And one of the most common ways for fortune tellers to try to predict your future is to read your palm, right? And that's why you guys are looking at this sheet here, the hand diagram, right? But there are other ways they do this as well. I know lots of fortune tellers just ask you questions and they make a guess about who you are, and then they just kind of, predict your future. And sometimes they have like a crystal, or sometimes they also use cards, right? And they use those cards called tarot cards, right? And again, I really wish I had a computer here and I could show you guys an image, but I recommend, you're on your computer now, right? Go to Google and type in tarot cards and then Google image them. I'm sure you guys have seen this in a movie, right? And fortune tellers, I'm going to be honest here, fortune tellers are not popular in Canada. Like, Canadian people are not superstitious people. We don't believe in that kind of stuff usually. So that's not like a popular thing here. But I lived in Korea before, and I know some Korean people can be, not all, probably not many, but some people can be pretty superstitious. So I know actually my good Korean friend that I wrote about yesterday, his name is Hyungyu. Oh yeah, I wrote about him, but that was in the morning class. Anyhow, sorry, you guys probably didn't watch that. But one of my good Korean friends, Hyungyu, his uncle is a fortune teller. And he told me that his uncle actually does really, really well. Superstitious. Now, I mentioned this word superstitious. This is an adjective. If you are a superstitious person, that means it's like one or a person. Let's write a person, that's easier to understand. A person who believes in, ghosts or aliens or fortune tellers. etc. So if you're a superstitious kind of person, which is okay, right? I don't know. I don't know if these things are true or not. I think there might be aliens, right? I don't believe in ghosts, but whatever. But if you're a superstitious kind of person, yeah, you believe in these kind of things. You believe in like spirits or ghosts or aliens or werewolves. Well, probably nobody believes in werewolves or something like that. But anyhow, and fortune tellers. Now, my question for you guys is, the two main types of fortune telling are palmistry is one, or we just say palm reading. And then two, the other main type of fortune telling is tarot cards, or we just call it card reading. So they look at the tarot cards and then they tell you what your future is going to be like. Now, do you guys believe in fortune telling? Yeah. Do you guys believe in fortune tellers, right? Do you think it's real? Do you think people can read your palm and tell what your future is going to be like? They can read your palm and like predict, like, oh, you're going to be rich, or you're going to be happy, you're going to buy a Tesla, or you're going to buy a broken down Ford Bronco, and you're going to be poor and you live in the forest, and you're going to be, you know, yeah, you're going to die alone. It's like, oh my God, this is a terrible fortune telling, right? Do you guys believe in that? Have you or someone you know ever been to go see a fortune teller? And how did it go? What happened? Okay, now I guess I could tell you guys my own story. I've been to a fortune teller actually twice. In both cases, I didn't really believe. But anyhow, one time was when I was a teenager and I was 16. And it was with my younger brother. So my younger brother is pretty close in age to me. So at the time he would have been 15. And we were on a family vacation. And we were in Victoria, British Columbia. So not too far from Vancouver. So we were in Victoria. And for some reason, my younger brother and I were allowed to explore the city by ourselves, and we walked by a fortune teller. So we thought, oh, it'd be fun to go in and try this out. And then the person told us it was about, I think, like $20 for 15 minutes or something like that. So I gave this person a 20, and they looked like a stereotypical fortune teller. It was an older woman with long hair. She was wearing a shawl over her head, and she took me to this round table, and in the middle of the table she had like a crystal ball, and she was putting her hands over it. And so I was thinking in my mind at the time, I was thinking like, oh my God, I just wasted $20, right? Like, I don't believe this. I'm not a superstitious person. But anyhow, she took my hand and she read my palm. And some of the things she said were kind of interesting. I think she was trying to be nice. She's like, oh, your hands are so nice. You can do anything in the future if you put your mind to it. So I'm like, oh, well, that's really nice motivation and encouragement, but you're not really predicting my future. But then she said, let me guess your initials. Now, initials are the first letter or letters of your name, right? So my name is Allan Scaife, so my initials are AS, right? So she said, let me guess your initials. They're AS. And actually at that point, I was pretty shocked. I was like, what? Because I didn't show her any ID, right? I didn't tell her my name before this, right? She had guessed my initials without knowing my name. So I was pretty surprised, actually. But besides that, I thought a lot of the stuff she told me was just kind of motivational garbage. So yeah, I didn't really trust her. However, later in the future, like I told you guys before, I was actually living and studying and working in South Korea, and I went to a fortune teller with a friend, and that was actually like a really fun experience because they had a really good drink bar, and I remember I had a really good mocha, and that was probably the highlight of my time there, and I was just thinking like, wow, this mocha is like really good. And then there was the fortune teller, and they used the tarot cards. And I just remember it being kind of enjoyable, but mostly, again, kind of useless, but that's okay. We didn't pay much money, and it was kind of fun. Anyway, guys, this is okay. Now, you guys are going to learn a little bit about predicting the future. So what you should do, and if you could do this, you guys will, it would be great if you guys could get into groups, but of course that's not really possible. But on the other hand, what I would like you guys to do is to look at that one here, right? The Palmistry one hand diagram. So you've already looked at this before. You got the heartline, headline, and lifeline. And look up what they mean. Okay, when they have done their own, they can practice on their partner's hand. Okay, so you should also look up the meaning. So let's take a look at this palmistry hand diagram, right? And of course, you should also look at your hand and think like, okay, where can you find your heartline? Can you find your headline? And can you find your lifeline? Now, I guess it looks like you should be looking at your left hand, right? Lifeline, headline, heartline. Okay, so let's take a look. Now, if you look at the back here, it says, people have always been fascinated with fortune telling, predicting the future. Palmistry is fortune telling by reading the lines of a person's hand. So like we just talked about here. The three main lines are the heartline, the headline, and the lifeline. Okay, now it says here, look at the diagram and see if you can find the lines on your own hand. Then, if you have a partner at home, that'd be great. Practice on your partner. Or if they're not at home right now, practice later. B, next, read the explanations below and write predictions. The first one has been done for you. Okay, so the first one is in relation to the lifeline. So that's kind of like the line going like down your hand, like around, starting at around your thumb and going downwards. So let's read about the lifeline. It says, the lifeline is a very important line and is always present. It represents energy and the length of your life. Okay, well that's good to know because I have a pretty good one here. So the example here says, 1, if the lifeline is long and deep, it means a long life full of energy and good health. So the prediction here is, you will live a long and healthy life. So if you look at your lifeline and it's long and deep, you could think, oh, I will live a long and healthy life. Or if you're looking at your partner's hand and they have a good lifeline, you could say again, you will live a long and healthy life. But maybe they don't have a long and deep line. So take a look at number 2. If the line is short and deep, it means a long life with great energy and an ability to overcome problems or to overcome health problems. So in this case, you'd want to think of you will. This is where you have to think, what would you say to this person? So I'm just going to erase this here. And yeah, we're just talking about the lifeline. So let's write that first. The lifeline. Now the first one is already done for us, so that one's okay. But number 2, long life full of energy and good health. If the line is short and deep, it means a long life with great energy and an ability to overcome health problems. So maybe we would write here, you will, and our prediction will be, you will I'm going to say here, have the ability to overcome health problems and we got to say something about great energy and long life with great energy and have a long, energetic life. So all we're really doing, guys, is kind of translating what the explanation is into, saying something here. You will have the ability to overcome health problems and have a long, energetic life. Okay, so let's take a look at number 3, guys. Number 3 says here, a double or triple line means a great love of life and adventure. Nope, I don't have a double or a triple line. It's just one kind of long line, kind of deep, kind of, I don't know. Anyhow, so we have to think of an answer here again. You will. Now it says here, a double or triple line means a great love of life. A great love of life. So great love of life means like someone who really, really enjoys their life, right? They have a great love of life. And adventure. You will have an adventurous and love-filled life. Okay, now, the reason why we're looking at this, guys, is because you'll notice we're kind of, it's not exactly like conditionals, but we are predicting the future, so we're using will, right? Anyhow, so that's the lifeline. Let's move on and look at maybe the headline. And that sounds kind of interesting, right? The headline. What does it say for the headline? Okay, the headline is also very important. It represents what you believe in, your attitude, and how you see life. So let me look at the headline. Okay, so that's the one above the lifeline. Okay. So this represents what you believe in, your attitude, and how you see life. Okay, well, that's interesting. So it says, if the head and lifelines are joined at the beginning, are joined at the beginning, it means the person has a very strong mind and knows exactly what they want out of life. Okay, so that's really interesting. So now we have to make a prediction based on that. So for me, this actually works because my headline and lifeline are joined at the beginning. So I guess that means I have a very strong mind and I know what I want out of life. I don't know if that's true, but I'm going to go with it. So you will always be very opinionated, strong-minded, and you will always know what you want. Okay, so this prediction is applicable for me because this one actually describes my own one. So I don't know, is this one applicable for you guys? Are your head and lifelines, do they start at the same point? I don't know. Number 5 though says, if the lines are separated, it means the person has a love of adventure. So let's make a prediction here. You will go on many adventures around the world. Okay, that's kind of a boring prediction, but it's true. Like if they're very adventurous, they will go on a lot of adventures. So if the lines are not joined at the beginning, if they're separated, this means we could say something like, you will go on many adventures around the world. Okay, so this is kind of fun, right? And it'd be interesting to know for you guys, like what is your headline like? What is your lifeline, right? So let me erase this here, guys. So we got to move on to number 6. So we'll erase this here. Okay, and take a look at number 6. It says, a long, deep line means the person has a good memory. Okay, you will. Okay, so my one's not so deep. Kind of not. Long, deep line means a person has a good memory. So that means they have a good memory, so their head is working well, right? You will, what is good for a person with a good memory? I'm going to say here, you will have many unforgettable experiences that you will never forget. Well, that's kind of boring because I'm using forget twice, but anyhow, because they have a good memory, so they're never going to forget those ones. Okay, so we got 6 done, guys. Turn to the other page. Okay, wow. This one goes on for quite a while. A short line means the person is good at sports. Okay, I don't have a short line, and I've always been bad at sports. Well, not terrible, but fairly bad. So that kind of makes sense for me. You will be a great athlete, right? So that's pretty easy. Like if the person is good at sports, we could just say you'll be a great athlete because athletes are good at sports. Okay, let's take a look at number 8. If the line is curved upwards, not really for mine, but if the line is curved upwards, it means the person has a short attention span. Now, attention span, that is a good word actually, because attention span is if you have a long or good attention span, it means you can focus on something and pay attention for a long time. If you have a short attention span, this is usually seen as a bad thing. It means you cannot pay attention for something for too long before you lose your attention and you focus on something else. So this one here doesn't sound very good to me. It says, if the line is curved upwards, it means the person has a short attention span. So, but of course, we don't want to say something that sounds really negative. So let's say, you will be restless and unable to focus on something for long periods of time. Okay, so you will be restless. So restless here, this is an adjective, and if you are restless, restless doesn't really have, I guess it has more of a negative connotation than it has a positive connotation, but a restless person is someone who cannot stay still. If you are restless, it's like you wanna do something, right? Maybe it means you're kind of energetic, but you're like, my sister is kind of like this. Not so much recently, but when she was like more in her 20s, she was very restless. Like she'd start one job and work for a couple of months, and then she'd get really bored, and she's like, I don't like this job anymore. Quit. Move on to another job. I don't like this job anymore. Quit. Move on to another job. She's very, very restless that way, right? But restless kids or adults, you don't want to stay in one place doing the same thing for too long before you want to move on. So it kind of has a negative meaning, but it doesn't have to be negative. It's neither negative nor positive. Maybe it's just neutral. Anyhow, you will be restless and unable to focus on something for long periods of time. So that doesn't sound like a good thing, but anyhow, that's what we're doing with the information we have. Number 9, if the line is curved downwards, it represents intelligence and creativity. All right. Okay, so you will. Okay, so we have to say something that represents intelligence and creativity. You will intelligence and creativity. you will accomplish many things in the fields of both science and art. For example, 'cause science is maybe representing or speaking for the intelligence portion, and art is for creativity. So if somebody is both creative and intelligent, maybe we could say you will accomplish many things in the fields of both science and art. Of course, I'm kind of sticking to a very rigid guideline here. It doesn't always have to be like this. Anyhow, guys, let's move on to our last line. The last line we have with 4 more here is the heart line. And the heart line represents emotions and anything to do with love. Aw, wow, right? So, the heart line. Okie dokie, heart line. Let's see what you got. Okay, number 10 says, if the heart line starts between the index finger, it represents a normal and happy love life. The heart line starts beneath the index finger. Okay, guys, so the index finger is like your pointing finger. So if the heart line starts beneath the index finger, it represents a normal and happy love life, right? So we got to write a prediction for that. So for someone whose heart line starts right beneath their index finger, maybe we'll say something like, you will, a normal and happy love life. You will marry a wonderful man, or in the case of a man, woman, or in the case of a gay man, another man, or in the case of a gay woman, or lesbian woman, another woman, whatever. You will marry a wonderful man or woman and have a very stable life. Happy love life. Yeah, it represents a normal and happy love life. So I wrote down stable here because stable, that doesn't mean that things are increasing really quickly or things are getting worse. Stable, you kind of imagine things are smooth, right? Things are going okay. So what I'm saying here is, of course, a normal love life, right? A normal and happy love life. Yeah, this sounds good enough, right? You'll marry a wonderful man or woman and have a very stable life. Sounds nice. All right, 3 more to go, guys. Let me erase this here. Number 11. Number 11. Okay. If it starts beneath the middle finger, it means that the person falls in love too easily. Mine's in between the index and the middle finger, so I don't know. Anyhow, yeah, if it starts beneath the middle finger, it means that the person falls in love too easily. Now, I would imagine somebody that falls in love too easily will probably fall in love with many different people, right? So my prediction here will be something like this. You will have many lovers during your life, right? Because, if, how can I say, yeah, if you fall in love very easily, yeah, you're gonna maybe have a lot of different lovers, right? So there's neither a positive nor negative one. But anyhow, you'll have many lovers during your life. For some people, that might be a really good thing. For other people, not so much. Just depends. Okay, let's look at 12. If the line is curved, it means the person is romantic. So remember what a curve is, right? It's like a dip, like a curve, right? This is straight, and then this is curved. So my one's a little bit curved. Not that much, but a little bit. the line is long and curved, it means the person is romantic. So I'm going to write here, you will be a generous and romantic partner and lover. That sounds like pretty good compliment to somebody, right? Yeah, you'll be a generous and romantic partner and lover. Yeah, that sounds pretty good. Okay, so 13. If the line is short, it shows a lack of interest in the matters of love. So if you have a short heart line, it means you're not really that interested in love, and of course that's okay. Hey Jun, how you doing? Good to see you. Anyhow, so maybe for 13 we would write, you will focus on your career and personal goals more than your love life. Okay, so the reason why I wrote this one here is because, yeah, it said the line is short, it shows a lack of interest in the matters of love. So I think this is a nice way of saying that. Yeah, you'll focus more on your career and personal goals more than on your love life. Okay guys, so we took a look at palmistry. Honestly, pretty interesting stuff. Not really something that I'm terribly interested in, to be honest, but it's interesting stuff. Now, unfortunately, we only have about 5 minutes or less to go here. But I think what you could do here, because this is interesting, is you could continue with the next side, which is cartomancy. And cartomancy is all about card reading. So you could read these ones here and make more predictions if you would like to. Let me just read the beginning of this and then we'll probably have to stop. But it says, predicting the future using playing cards is called cartomancy. Now usually they use tarot cards, but you can also use playing cards. In fact, cards were used to predict the future long before they were used for games. There are 52 cards in a pack. The cards are divided into 4 suits: hearts, clubs, spades, and diamonds. Today we are only using 13 cards. So if you want to do this one, guys, it'd be really good if you have a pack or deck of cards at home, right? And you need those normal playing cards, like the kind of cards you use to play, I don't know, whatever, or if you go to a casino, they use those kind of cards, right? So what you need to do here, though, it says first shuffle the cards, then choose 6 cards and place them face up on the table. This is called a spread. Read the explanations below. What do the cards say about your future? Now practice on your partner. Next, read the explanations below and write predictions. The first one has been done for you. So if you want to play this game by yourself or with a partner, you need to shuffle the deck of cards, then choose 6 cards randomly, right? Once you have the cards, flip them over so you can look at them and see what they are. Then you can see what does that mean. And some of the meanings here will be interesting. So the first one we're looking at is for hearts, right? So hearts here says, okay, for the first one, for example, the Ace of Hearts means love and happiness, a very good card to get. So the prediction will be, you will live a very happy life and be lucky in love. Okay, like that's kind of fun, right? Or if you got the Jack of Hearts, indicates a fair-haired admirer in the future. So that means somebody who admires you or likes you somewhere in the future and they have nice hair. So what you would maybe predict for this would be, you will have an admirer with very fair and beautiful hair. Wow. Okay, number 3, 10 of hearts means good luck and success. So if you get the 10 of hearts, maybe the prediction would be you will be very successful in business, or you will have a very successful career, or you will make a lot of money, or something like that. 9 of hearts means a wish or a dream coming true. All right, so the prediction might be here is you will achieve success in all your dreams and wishes, right? Okay, guys, but I'm going to stop it there. I think this is actually like kind of a lot of fun, and it's not bad practice because you're using the future tense and you're making predictions, right? You will do this or you will do that. But to be honest, like fortune telling is not really my thing. So sorry, I wish I could have made this more interesting. Although I think it is still interesting, right? But yeah, fortune telling is just, it's not my thing. I don't really believe in it, but it is fun. So if you have extra time, check it out, try to make the predictions, right? But I think we're gonna stop it here for today. I know there's some stuff that we didn't have time to look at. If you do have extra time, take a look at it. It's pretty good. But of course, you guys will see me tomorrow. And yeah, you guys have a good day. I hope you have fun. Of course, be careful, COVID-19. But anyhow, yeah, that's it for me today. I will see you guys again tomorrow. Have a good one.